Okay, good. So just make sure you talk really close to the microphone. And we're here in Rochester, New York, at Boulder Coffee. After the 2017 snowpocalypse here in Rochester, we're staring at 2 to 3 foot snowbanks here on the corner of Clinton and Alexander, and joined by Matt Brophy. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. It's a sunny day. It's hard not to feel good after these last couple of days.
I wish
being
we were
stuck inside.
We were just talking off microphone about, Matt is a student at University of Rochester, and he really, and he's on spring break now, and he's kind of bummed that it snowed so much because I feel his pain that I want to get outside too.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring Matt onto and record him with some video, with some audio, because Matt is a Category 1 cyclist, and he's also a plant-based cyclist. He's largely plant-based, and one thing that I am lacking is knowledge of using basically on-the-bike nutrition, recovery. I'd like to get Matt's perspective on recovery using plant-based nutrition, and to give you some comparison, I'm a Cat 3, so certainly Matt has more experience with higher level cycling, which I think can certainly be applied to all levels. So I guess the first place where I want to start off, Matt, is talk to us about your general. We'll start real general and hone in on the bike nutrition, general rules of thumb when it comes to, I don't know if you pay attention to macros, things like ride distance and nutritional considerations. Let's just talk about that.
Yeah, so I think any day that I'm going to go out and ride, the most important thing is just how long am I going to be out there. If I'm going to be out there for an hour easy spin, I might bring a banana with me just as like an emergency kind of fuel. If I'm not feeling great, I can put that down. But anytime I'm going to be out there for an hour and a half, 2 hours or plus, I'm making sure that I'm bringing proper food with me so that I'm not crashing, bonking out there. So I'm going to be able to get the most out of my ride, because ultimately, it's the time that you're spending out there is of value. So you want to make sure you're prepared for it.
Right. So in the shorter rides, an hour, generally your threshold is an hour or less. You generally just bring a banana?
Yeah.
Okay. So over an hour, what are you bringing? Give us a typical, what's in your jersey?
So, the thing that I've, over the past year or so, really started utilizing is I make my own banana bread to take out on a ride with me. And that it's pretty simple. It's got bananas, sugar, flour, some coconut oil in there. So the nice thing about that is that slice it up, wrap it in tin foil, it goes in your pocket real easy. I calculated it out. It's right around 200 to 220 calories per slice. So, that's right around, I figure 1 slice an hour. So if I'm going out for 4 or 5 hours, I'll usually bring an extra slice or 2 along with me just in case. But usually I figure about, 220 or so calories an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
How did you come to that conclusion?
Really, I'd say just based on just based on experience and how I felt. I think that's one of the key things to do as you start to ride more is make notes in your training, wherever you're logging your training, and being like, okay, today I went out, I rode an hour and a half, I did some intervals, and I ate, this. And at the end of the ride, I didn't feel hungry, or I had energy the entire ride, or, towards the end of the ride, I was really struggling. I was lacking energy. I felt like I could be bonking. And so maybe make a note next time I want to bring more, or I brought enough. So taking note of that, because from person to person, it varies.
Right, absolutely. So what there certainly are formulas out there that tell you, okay, if you're riding at this intensity and you weigh this much for this period of time, you're generally burning this many calories. But you certainly, you're right, that varies from person to person. And just like a whole foods plant-based lifestyle from person to person, I could really like a fruit-based whole foods plant-based diet where you might like more of a starch-based that just works with you. The same thing I think in general goes for cyclists on those longer rides. And let me go back to your banana bread recipe, which hopefully maybe you can send that to me again via email, and I'll try to post that in the comments on one of these small clips. But someone might be worried or have a question, I guess, about the makeup of your banana bread. You said there's some refined sugar in there.
Yeah, you can
sweetener.
Yeah, you can use cane, just regular cane sugar. I've used brown sugar as well, but yeah, definitely there is sugar in there.
And there's also some, quote unquote, refined flours in there. How much of a problem or a concern should that be for someone who's out riding for 3 or 4 hours, burning, we'll say 3,000 or 4,000 calories? That banana bread versus more of a whole plant food. Is that a concern, or is that not really something that should be of concern?
It's definitely something that I think should be of concern, and if others have more knowledge on maybe how they go about doing it, but it's a tough balance, because you could cook up some sweet potatoes and throw those in your pockets, but you're only going to get about 150 calories out of a sweet potato, and those don't hold up well in your pockets. So it's tough to find the balance between the ultimate quality of the food you're going to be putting in your pocket, and just the efficiency of what you're utilizing. And so I think always trying to find, it almost is like a balance point between I can go out and I can get the most out of my ride, and I can also be putting, try to put the best ingredients in my body during the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So I utilize brown sugar. I utilize try to utilize whole grains in there, but there is sugar, and I know that is, if someone has some suggestions on how to change the recipe up where it would work, I'm totally open to it. I would love those suggestions.
Yeah, but obviously you're not chowing down on this stuff like all the time, I guess.
No,
so
yeah.
just know, I think people need to step back and look at the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
And even for a Category 1 cyclist, you're putting in more miles on the road than a Cat 5, but still the banana bread or whatever kind of snacks you have on the bike, what percentage of your total calories is that if you're looking at an entire day, or what per week or per month? It really, the majority of your calories probably are still coming from whole plant food sources.
Yeah. Because I think even if you look at the calorie, content of the banana bread itself, and then look at how much you're consuming on the bike, it might boil down to you're getting 10% or so from more refined sources in banana bread on any given, any given day that you're going out for a longer ride and are consuming it. So, if anyone out there has some suggestions on how to improve it, I would love to hear them.
Definitely post those down below. Let me just